the music. You don't have to dance yet. I'll tell you when. As soon as I see us. I see us. Okay, here we go. Let's start. Join me. I got my drumsticks here. Oh, Heidi! Play! Yes! Oh, Heidi! This is the first.
Welcome to the Creativity Show.
Oh, look at her play!
Live out, let it flow. Unscripted words in a velvet ring.
Velvet Ring.
Savvy minds, on
Savvy
the
Minds.
line,
That's
they
all of you.
producer
You're in
and
host.
in the glow.
In the glow. akaRadioRed. Let's go. Tell me what it is that sparks your fire.
What keeps you
Moving higher and higher.
The Creativity Show.
Oh, Karen, you go. Ladies, I'm delighted. That's the end of the music for now. We're going to play it again at the end. Heidi, were you really playing?
Yes.
Oh my goodness gracious. Nobody's ever picked up an instrument. I just brought my drumsticks in. I used to be a drummer, Motown. Anyway, that was delightful. Thank you very much. Ladies, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm akaRadioRed. This used to be Read My Lips, and then it was the Creativity Spark Show. And a couple weeks ago, I decided we're going to call it the Creative People Roundtable for a couple of reasons. Number one, the format is a roundtable. Number two, you're here because you're creatives. That's your new title, you're creatives. And you're people. We're not avatars. We're not bots. We are real people. So that's how I renamed the show. I hope you all appreciate that. So I don't want to tell you that today is a very special day. It's August 24th, and it happens to be Marlee Matlin's 61st birthday. Anybody remember? She was the first Oscar winner deaf person and the youngest actress ever to win an Oscar. So there you go. And if you're a fan of Harry Potter films, the gentleman who plays Ron Weasley, Rupert Grint, is 38 today, and that's all I'm going to tell you. Okay, and today is Waffle Day, Peach Pie Day, Waffle Iron Day, and Can Opener Day. So I want you all to go home after the show and celebrate your can. Heidi, you're going to write a poem about the can opener for me.
It will be peaches, actually.
Oh, peaches. Okay, we'll do the peaches then. So, ladies, I have a special welcome for you. And as I like to say, where else would I be on a Monday afternoon except here welcoming my creatives? And I met all of you at the recent National Publicity Summit. And I want to tell you that I'm already booked for the next one. The second week of October, I'll be back. So I'm delighted to have you here. So here we go. Let me start. And I have a little gift for each of you. And when I call your name, I'll call it a couple times. Just wave. So at the Creative People Roundtable, unforgettable stories flow. With host akaRadioRed on her Scarlett Mic, live streaming in the glow, just like the song said. The Collages of Creativity, you know who you are, is our spotlight today, celebrating curiosity, courage, and compassion along the way. Karen K. Smith, wave hello. Sneha M. Villalva, I hope I said that right. Yes?
Villalva.
Villalva, good. And Heidi Sander are joining me to share how creativity shaped their journeys with imagination and flair. Hear their bold ideas, our cool conversations, and inspiration that's real. And you just might discover what your own creativity may reveal. So here we go. Karen, I have a special welcome for you, and I hope you like it. Karen grew up in Foreman, Arkansas, where small town roots ran deep. With a nurse for a mom and farmer turned water manager dad, caring was hers to keep. She loved spelling, math, music, and reading, with piano filling the air. Even teaching piano was her first job. Karen was sharing creativity with flair. An elementary education degree launched her many roles in view, from teaching and leadership to coaching, writing, and raising children, too. For 15 years, caregiving while homeschooling helped reshape the road she knew, inspiring Karen to help others through life's difficult seasons, too. Today, she writes, coaches, hosts retreats, and creates spaces where people feel known, turning uncertainty, loneliness, and grief into pathways where hope can be shown. And through her beloved collage art, images express what words cannot always say. Karen's unique collage of creativity may help bring creativity your way. Karen, I hope you enjoyed that.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And Sneha, you're next. Sneha grew up in California with English and history, her favorites at school. Singing into a hairbrush at the top of her lungs made her bedroom stage really cool. She biked around with neighborhood friends while favorite books filled her mind. From Little Women to Little House, there's a theme there. Stories, little stories, sparked imagination of every kind. At Scripps, African American history became the bachelor's degree path she chose. Then a USC master's in professional writing helped strengthen her command of prose. A journalist turned executive speechwriter, Sneha gave leaders words to share for a UCLA chancellor and 2 Pomona presidents, shaping their messages with care. Her high achieving life taught what carrying too much can eventually cost. In her book, Cut to the Essence, subtraction helps reveal what overwhelm may have lost. Now, Sneha invites leaders to choose what to cut, what to keep, and what to do. Her collage of creativity brings peace, poise, power, and purpose into view. Sneha, welcome. I hope you enjoyed that.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And Heidi, here we go. Heidi grew up in Ontario, Canada, with tales that were hers to tell. Before she could read, her mom said storytelling served Heidi very well. She watched her creative mom turn magazine fashions into dresses she would sew. Then studies in English, writing, drama, and history helped Heidi's own imagination grow. A master's in environmental writing led to travel journalism as her chosen track, exploring eco adventures and nature, bringing fascinating stories back. Heidi began writing poetry when she was young, then caregiving put her words aside. After losing her mom, writing poetry resumed as her comfort and creativity guide. Heidi's first poetry collection, The Forest of My Mind, emerged from her heart. Soon helping midlife people rediscover their creativity became her art. With books, courses, and immersive retreats, her Your Creative Return helps them renew. Heidi's collage shows how creativity can also return to you. Heidi, I hope you like that.
That was amazing. I rarely have a poem written for me, so thank you so
You're,
much.
you're welcome. So it show's over, by the way. No. So gather around where the cool kids and the cool vibes sway. They've already danced, so we know they can sway. As we assemble our collage of creativity today, and this is a tribute to you, Karen, because you talk about collage in your story. akaRadioRed's energy lights the way. We hope to inspire you to live large, love life, and play. So, ladies, how'd I do? What, are you going to stick around with me? You going to stay? I'm glad. I'm glad. This is my way of showing you I appreciate you. And this is why I ask for origin stories instead of just a little media bio, because we want to know you as a person. We want to know what inspired you, where you came from, how you grew to be who you are. And there's so much more to tell. So, Karen, I'm putting you on speaker view. Whether you like it or not. There she goes. I want to see that smile. I'm putting you on speaker view, and I'd like you to tell us a little bit about your book and anything I left out in your opening. So, Karen, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm Karen K. Smith. I am a speaker and author and a life coach. I host retreats, which are my favorite things. I have one book published called Nearsighted, Choosing to See Eating Disorders Differently, which is written to like caregivers or parents of those in eating disorder treatments. And then my upcoming book, Hope Has a Seat in Every Waiting Room, takes it a little bit general to people who find themselves in waiting seasons. So it's part memoir, part teaching, and part creative journaling. So that's a little bit about my books. You already know about me, thanks to the wonderful akaRadioRed. So
You're very, very sweet. And by the way, how was the summit for you? Was the publicity summit to put you in touch with a lot of media?
yes, it was
Good.
great.
Good. I'm glad. Well, I'm delighted that you're here. Sneha, I'm going to you next, and you've got your book beautifully displayed. And I'm going to put you on speaker view, and why don't you tell us a little bit about it? Go ahead.
Sure, I'd love to. Thanks for having me here, Red. It's really a privilege. So my book is Cut to the Essence, What Remains When We Subtract. And it's about the power of subtraction and how to get to influence, clarity, resilience, we actually need to stop adding and start taking things away. And it's, as you referenced, born out of my story of burnout. I was a overachiever to the nth degree and learned early on at the age of 17 that that's no way to live. But I took a lot of hard knocks to the head to finally come to that conclusion and realize something had to change. And it's a story that's part memoir, part method, and talks about things like grief, talks about things like perfectionism, language, and it's a really powerful read. And a little bit about me, I'm a TEDx speaker, recently spoke at TEDx, and I also was born, little trivia, 3 months premature, 2 pounds, 7 ounces. So I came out fighting, dropped to a pound, and have been gaining weight ever since. So it's been a great journey, and it's wonderful to be here and wonderful to be amongst all of you great people.
You're very, very kind. Yes, I didn't know the premature story. It wasn't in your bio, but it's very personal. So thank you for sharing that. For a second there, when you were talking about your book, I thought you were going to break out into song. Heidi, did you hear that moment where it was like she was doing a song lyric and you said, bah, 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 and I said, I wanted Heidi to pick up her guitar and play some. It was lovely, Sneha. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're
Oh,
very
thank you.
gracious. You're also nice. Well, everybody's nice, but you're all very, very gracious, and I appreciate that. Heidi Sander, I'm putting you on speaker view. Tell us more and what's coming up in September. I think something special is going to launch. So Heidi, you're on. Go ahead.
Thanks so much for having me, Red. It's a real privilege and honor to be here with all of you. And I just wanted to say, it's interesting to see the creativity, the different elements coming out in everyone's story. Sneha, I also sang into a hairbrush when I was young. So there are, yes, with my sister.
I just went back to gallery view so everybody can see Sneha's response and Karen's as well. What? Okay, my daily show is called Say What? Yes, now I'm going to have to talk about that. People who sing into their hairbrush and look how they grow up. Wow. Okay, Heidi, continue.
It's a phenomenon. You'll probably find that more women do it. So my story really, okay. I've written many books. Here is one of them. I've written a lot of poetry books, but if we go back to the beginning of that journey, it's all based on Your Creative Return, which is the book I'm launching next. And it's launching as a course in September. So that's the big start of my next initiative. But it really mirrors my own return to creativity midlife after caregiving for my mom. And I've developed a framework through which I came back to my creativity. And that's now growing into an ecosystem. So Your Creative Return, I firmly believe, is possible at any age. It's never too late. I always hear that from people. I have a poetry membership right now and a poetry course. And so often people in the membership say, oh, I think it's too late, or I waited too long. It's never too late. I have people who start in their 70s and 80s. So what I just want to do is have everyone embrace their creativity, because through doing that, it's a return to yourself and you really come home through that. So it's a real passion of mine. And I also work with teams and leaders where creative suppression is quite prevalent within companies and within the business world, and original thinking is lost. And we need that now more than ever with AI. So I am really working with people on many levels in that regard for their creative return. So that's me in a nutshell and where.
Thank you. Thank you. I will tell you, I usually tell people this at the end of the show, but I belong to an online poetry group. I joined 3 years ago. And every Wednesday, it's Writer's Digest, and every Wednesday, Robert Lee Brewer provides a prompt. He does it around 3 or 4 in the morning. I can send you all the link. And Wednesdays, and then we just go for it. And the conversation comes in where you can I've never seen a down thumb, but an up thumb, and then leave a comment for people. And we share our thoughts on each other's poems, which is fun. During April and November, Heidi, we get a prompt every day. It's called the Poem a Day Challenge. It's not a challenge, it's just us doing what we want. I have met very interesting people. I've had a couple of them on this show about a year ago, and they're a little shy about coming on camera for some reason. But I have written, I think, by now about 700 poems, because I do 1 to 5 a day during the month of April and November. And the prompts are fascinating, and I tend toward the humorous side. Sometimes the very sad or romantic or lost, but mostly the humorous. I think I'm the class clown. So we don't hear anything about people being too old or too young in that group, because they're there because they want to be. And some of them are writing political poems, which I find rants. I don't think they belong in a poetry group, but that's just me. Some of them write very religious information in their poems. But most of us write about our lives, where we've been, what's happened to us, scenarios. Some of them write little fantasy. One writes very humorous little stories about her grandchildren. And it's just a delight every Wednesday to wake up and know I'm going to be writing poetry. So there you go.
That,
I mean, go ahead,
that's
Heidi.
that's so interesting. So in my poetry membership, we meet online once a month and we workshop a new poem, and I have a prompt. But then we connect online through a private membership
Mm-hmm.
form.
Yep.
But I find that I see that journey people are on. So when they join at first, often they don't even come online.
Yeah.
And as they build their confidence, they realize it's not too late. They trust their voice. So that's just such a rewarding experience every time.
It is, and it's rewarding for me to be part of this particular group because people know me by now. And I changed my name, ladies, online. I used to be Radio Red, and then I dropped out for a couple months and came back as another name. I'll tell you later. And people knew who I was by my writing style, and especially the men in the group. And they said, "Red, we know it's you." I said, "Who are you talking to?" Yes, it's me. Okay, I said, "I'll give you the name later, AKA," and I put in Red. Yeah, you found me. It was very interesting. They knew my style. They knew who I was.
Well, then you have developed a really strong, clear voice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That's
I'm the
so
only one who dares to be funny and corny. Okay, let's go on. I want to thank all of you for sending me these wonderful quotes from movies, from songs. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read, Karen, I'm starting with yours. I'm going to read the quote with a little bit of the background on it. And then I'm going to ask you to unpack it and tell us, what does this have to do with you and your creativity? So the quote comes from Lilo and Stitch. And Lilo says this, voiced by Davy or Davey Chase, speaking to Stitch the first time it was said, voiced by Chris Sanders, no relation to Heidi Sander. Lilo and Stitch, Disney's 2002 animated comedy adventure film. Lilo is teaching the mischievous alien Stitch that Ohana means family. And here's the quote. Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. And the plot is that a lonely Hawaiian girl, Lilo, adopts Stitch, an escaped alien experiment she thinks is a dog, and teaches him the meaning of Ohana. So, Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. Karen, I'm putting you back on speaker view. Why don't you tell us how you picked this and what it has to do with you? Go ahead.
It's Lilo and Stitch.
Thank you. You can tell
Yeah.
I've never watched it. Go ahead.
Can you tell I'm a mom?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. So I chose that fun little quote. Why we see in the movie, it's this moment, it's this gosh, just moment where everything kind of stands still in the movie. But my family kind of adopted that. And because I had a husband who had a primary progressive MS. And so when we started not being able to go places, we started doing art together. And we would create together and we would paint together because we had to be at home. I couldn't take him out anymore. And so that sort of, we latched onto that. And even since his death, it's become even more important to us. I have a stitch on my mantle, because it's just become the little thing for our life that, no matter what, family's not going to be forgotten. And so that has kind of the story behind why that's my favorite little quote. And if you could just see this little alien saying Ohana, you would understand why it's so special.
Tell me something, Karen. When we talk about family, is that part of your creativity of what the messages that you send to your clients and the people you talk to?
Oh, absolutely. I talk about in Nearsighted. I actually talk about some of the collages that I made in treatment. And the one collage which just really opened my eyes to a eating disorder. But it's what I also use, and you'll see it in Hope Has a Seat in Every Waiting Room, are these creative journaling pages. Because when you're in waiting rooms, you don't have the brain width to fill out a piece of paper. give me a paper with lines and I'm just going to sit there and look at it. But if I've got a bubble here and a square there and a rectangle here, then my brain goes, oh, I can handle that because it comes in little bits. And so I use that, and then I like to connect both sides of the brain. So when we do art, we're actually connecting our both sides of our brain together, which makes things more meaningful. It makes them more memorable. And so I use a lot of that in my coaching and in my writing.
Thank you. Are you going to show us some of your?
You want to see? Am I frozen?
No, you're not frozen.
Oh, so we really do get to run the show, Heidi.
Well, show your art, show your collage.
All right. So I have my favorite one. I'll show you my least, I'll show you one. This was Road to Recovery. And you can see that I have warning signs. And then I have little cones that might be roadblocks ahead. But my favorite one was this tiger in a suit.
Go. Sneha has sent a quote from Hustlin'. It's a 2006 breakthrough single and track on rapper Rick Ross's, that's a mouthful, debut album, which is called Port of Miami. It was produced by The Runners, written by Rick Ross, whose real name is William Leonard Roberts III, or the second, and two other people. And here is the line Sneha has picked. Every day I'm hustling. And this is a song signature phrase from the song. And it helped to launch his career. So Sneha, I'm putting you back on speaker view. We're still recording, and go ahead. You're up.
Yeah, I think that is the writing life, speaking life, creative life. Like you always have to be in motion and have momentum, hustling, in other words, to get to the next place in your creativity, to break through to the next level. So it's just this commitment to momentum, I think, and to moving forward. And I think it's just, you have to have that drive and that passion and to get up every day and pursue this creative life. So I think that's where every day I'm hustling comes from. And I probably tell my husband that every day, actually. So
I appreciate that. Let's
Yeah.
go to who we got now. How are we doing on time? Actually, not bad. Heidi, I'm going to your quote. You've picked a quote from With My Own Two Hands, a song written and performed by Ben Harper. I had to look up Ben Harper from his 2003 album, Diamonds on the Inside. What an interesting title. And there's a version featuring Jack Johnson that is on the 2006 Curious George soundtrack. I don't know if you knew that, Heidi. I thought that was an interesting sidebar. Ben Harper, American singer-songwriter, guitarist, multi-instrumentalist, born in California in 1969. He blends folk, blues, rock. Sneha is nodding. I think you know he is. Folk, blues, rock, soul, reggae, and gospel. And he's associated with the slide guitar and the lap steel Weissenborn style of playing. I'm sure that means something to musicians. He released his debut album in 1994 and built an international following. He's won multiple Grammys, including recognition in blues and gospel. Here's the quote Heidi has picked. I can change the world with my own two hands, make a better place with my own two hands. Heidi, you're up. Tell us how you picked this. I love the quote.
So one anchor message of mine is that it's not too late and that your voice matters. And that's what it's all about. We can change the world one voice at a time, one message at a time. There's a ripple effect with that. And I believe in that so strongly. We all can make a difference and everyone's voice matters. And that just represents that for me. And that's part of the creative journey. That's where our passion comes from. It's listening to ourselves, honoring our voice, and expressing it in form we want to. I'm a spoken word performer as well. And I'm so blessed to collaborate with a number of different artists, with dancers, musicians, actors, filmmakers, visual artists, chefs, yoga instructors. We've done so many artistic collaborations, and I just find there is a growth in creativity when we come together and share our voices.
And
it's
that's why we're here. Go ahead, continue.
and it's just important to honor your voice and know that your voice matters. So
Yes, yes. Whether we're speaking, whether we're drawing, whether we're cooking, whether we're writing poetry, whether we're doing art. Karen, I think I was at the point where I was asking you to show us some of your collages, and I think that's when my internet went out. No, no attribution here, Karen. I don't want you to take that personally. Do you have anything you could show us?
Oh, yeah, I had started to show in your absence, and this
I hope
this
you kept the show going, ladies. Go ahead.
well, we started to, but then we decided we would wait. So anyway, I don't know if you can see,
Take
but
it over. Yes, go
there's a
ahead.
tiger, and it has a suit on.
I see it.
And I took it out of a magazine and I glued it on this paper.
I see
And
it.
then you can see I have eating disorder at the top. And disorder is all kind of disordered in different fonts. And then I painted over it with blue paint because, it might be a part of who I am, but it gets further and further away from my presence. And so with each layer of paint, it gets less and less. And then I put butterflies, these little crafty little butterflies on top to let me know that I could be free. It didn't have to hold me back. So this was a collage that really helped me in my treatment.
I see your nail polish is the light green of some of those butterfly ladies. Did you notice that? Look at her gorgeous iridescent nail polish. That's beautiful. I want to show you something. Hold on. I consider this a kind of a collage. I do these, and I'll tell you why it's a collage, because I create these in one of my AI art programs, apps online, and I tell it what kind of face I want. And then I print it on clear plastic 8.5 by 11, like the kind we used to use in the AVs in school. Remember the slides? Yeah, the pieces. So I print it, and then I run down to the hall to my art studio before the ink dries. And I take that film and I put it face down on a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, white cardstock, and I rub the back of it, and it comes out like a tracing. And then I work with acrylics and with watercolors, and I have little jewels I made for her eyes. I have a set of little plastic jewels. I give them interesting eyes, and I embellish them. I fill in the lines with paint and with glitter glue, and sometimes the jewelry is made with, Karen, the jewelry is made with the wrapping from candies or from cookies. I save wrapping papers, the little gold. If you buy certain kinds of candy, it comes in beautiful red, and I'll show you some of those. And I save them, and then I cut it out and make necklaces for them. I do men and I do women. Is that fun?
I love
Yeah.
it. That's
And
so
see,
awesome.
I'm not an artist, but I know I can prompt what I want, and I can get the image that I want. And that the hair, I painted that in, and then there's another jewel in the middle of that bow on her hair. Isn't that
And
sweet?
is that a printed flower or is that a real flower?
It's printed.
Oh,
I know.
cool. That's so cool. That's beautiful.
I'm going to show you one more before I destroy my office here. This is a man. I thought you'd get a kick out of this guy. Look at this. And he has a necklace made out of gold foil that comes from a candy wrapper that I saved. And then I filled in his hair with glitter glue, and he's got green eyes that are shaped in different shapes. I paint around the glasses, and then I just fill in and I add stuff. And that's what I got. Is that something?
That is
Like it?
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I let the program do the amazing part of designing what the person looks like, and then I make it my own by filling in, and I call these enhanced art. That's what I call them. So they're mostly mine. So thank you for looking at those. I wasn't planning on showing them, but you inspired me. And I have done collage work, and I've made my own collage papers, Karen, with tissue paper. Does anybody here ever get gift packages of fruit from Florida? People send you oranges and pears. They come in little light green, not Heidi, Karen, the color of your nail polish. They come in tissue paper that's kind of sturdy. And I save those and I lay them out, and then I can paint on them and cut them in different shapes and use those for my own collage papers.
That's awesome.
Interesting. Yeah. So creativity's flowing here. That's for sure. So let's see now. So we've got all of our quotes covered. Everybody's got their quotes. Now let's go to our real round table. And I think if you can all stay, we'll stay a little bit later if we need more time. All right. So let's go to Karen, your creativity. I was going to pick the one where you talk about your collages. We've already talked about that. So let's go to this one. I think everybody will resonate with this, or it will resonate with all of you. You say, I'm most creative in the early morning on my back porch. Many of my ideas begin during quiet reflection with a journal in hand before the demands of the day begin. I often start with handwritten notes, questions, or observations before moving to my computer to develop them into articles, book chapters, retreat activities, or coaching resources. So, Karen, why don't you take us through this a little bit, and then we'll see what Heidi and Sneha have to say, whether it resonates with them. Karen, why early in the morning? What are your hours? Tell us a little more.
Well, my early is very different than other people's early because my early is probably about 8 o'clock. That's early for me. I'm not a morning person, but it's my morning. And so I have a back porch that it's peaceful, it brings me peace. And I sit out there, and it's where my mind wheels turn. It's where I think of ideas. It's just become my inspiration place, my place of inspiration. And I just jot these things down. And then when I'm in a working mode, or creating mode, I start creating these resources. But a lot of them are invented with the wheels turning in my head on my back porch. And I think everybody probably has a place that inspires them, that brings them inspiration, where we get our great ideas. I think we just may not frequent them often enough. And so for me, I'm a lot happier when I start there, and people are really glad when I start my mornings there. And it just gets my creative juices flowing, and I love it.
That's interesting. People are glad when you start there on the porch. I don't know if we need to get editorialize on that one. Thank you. Let's go around the table. Heidi, does the time of day, morning resonate with you and having a special place? And then Sneha. Heidi, what do you think?
Does. I'm mostly creative in the early morning as well. So we have a similarity there. Now, my morning starts earlier. I love to get up before the sunrise. There's something magical about that time of the day. The birds start singing,
Mm-hmm.
this color. That's so inspirational for me. And it's peaceful at that time too.
You have a special place?
Well, a lot of them. So I kayak. Sometimes I'll go down to the river and I'll kayak early morning. Other times I'll sit in my backyard on my back deck. It really depends on the weather, how early I've gotten up. Sometimes I'll go for a walk.
Nice. Nice.
Depends.
Thank you. Sneha, what about you? Time of day, place? What do you think?
Well, I am a night person in a morning person's world. So I find the mornings really challenging. Even if I am up early, I don't think my creative juices kick in till around like 11:30 to 4, and then again later at night. So I'm just kind of I'm wired a little differently that way. And in terms of a special place, my background is as a reporter. So I'm used to being in like different locations at different times
Mm-hmm.
and being able to work from where I'm at. So you might find me in my office, you might find me on the couch, you might find me on the bed, you might find me in a coffee house. So I just kind of make the rounds and, you know, call upon creativity wherever I'm at. So,
I like that. Do you feel that it just flows, or when you say you call upon it, do you say, okay, I want to be creative, or all of a sudden an idea just pops into your head? How does it
well, a
work?
lot of times my process is I start with playing music, actually. I'll put something on, usually in a language that I don't understand or instrumental music, so that I don't, unconsciously get lyrics into the whatever I'm writing. But that actually gets me into the right headspace, is to play some music and then get in the zone and just start writing. I don't really believe in writer's block. I think you just start writing, and whatever comes, comes, and then you go back and reshape it.
Thank you very much. Karen, anything you want to add to that interesting roundtable? Any thoughts other than what you've shared with us? You're
No, I
good.
think the sunset is a beautiful time.
Ah,
It kind of has the same colors as the sunrise.
I think I'm a morning and a late night creative, and ideas come to me at any time. I never know. I could be waking up, and sometimes I wake up like today at 4:30 in the morning, which is 3 hours earlier than I need to, and I'll pick up my iPad and I'll look at the news when it comes, and I'll say things just kind of percolate. And sometimes I'll get an idea for a new show. For example, I started January 1st with a daily show, 5 minutes a day, called Say What? Good News. And it's just me. And I have some music, and I do some milestones in movies or music in those worlds. And then I have two articles I pick, and I collect articles all week long from newsletters I get, from the news, from Good News newspaper. There's a magazine online, and I put them into documents, and then I slot them. Okay, two for Monday, two for Wednesday, two for Tuesday, and then I go in and I have famous birthdays and holidays. And I have a friend named Dr. Bob who is relying on me to tell him what the food of the day is, Heidi, so he'll know what to cook for dinner. And today was waffles and peach pie, which I told you. And he said, no, he doesn't have waffles and he's having apple pie. So, but we have a running joke going. So I'll dedicate the holidays and the food to Dr. Bob. But this came to me, I think, last December. And I woke up one day and I said, I really want to start a new show and I want to do something short where I don't need a guest host and I don't need to put in a lot. It still takes me about an hour a day to put it together, but it's 5 minutes without looking at the clock, and I can come in at 4 minutes and 23 seconds or 5 minutes and 9 seconds. It just, you get the beat. And I woke up one day and I said, okay, start a new show. You can do it, whatever you want. And I went and got the music. I made the music, and I got the background. I'll show it to you later. And I just started doing it. So to me, sometimes it's a dive in headfirst with a new idea. Does that resonate with anybody? Is anybody, you're all nodding. Karen, what have you done where you just dove into something new?
Of my very first retreat, I just dove into it. It was brand new. I'd never done one before. And I said, who would like to go on a beach retreat?
There you go.
And
There
the
you go.
idea is born.
There you go. Heidi, what about you?
That's where I get the most excited, when it's something new, and that's such a creative moment for me. So I dive in.
Isn't that exciting? And we don't have to be every T crossed, every I dotted. Sometimes you learn. Sneha, what about you? Have you ever just said, I have a new idea, I'm just gonna dive right in? What about you?
Yeah, I think pivoting into speaking, versus being a speechwriter was a big dive and a big pivot. And it just made me realize I can't lean on perfection. Like I really need to give myself permission, right? So just making that leap and not looking too hard, but just landing wherever you will and running with it.
There you go. You just covered all of the creativity statements for you, Sneha, that I was going to talk about. So that's fine as long as we get them in. I just wanted to honor you with what you had sent me. So Heidi, I'm going to go to you and I want to talk a little bit about your poetry. But Heidi says, I'm most creative early mornings, late at night when the world is quiet. Yes. Whenever an idea strikes, I record with whatever medium I have. Notebook, phone, scrap of paper, a napkin. When I sit down to formally write, it's either on my computer or handwriting in a journal. And I met recently on this is really annoying me. Met somebody recently on one of the shows who said he writes on the backs of little receipts. And I used to write ideas on the back of cocktail napkins when I was going to dances and nightclubs in my early single days. And I would take a napkin and say, oh, well, here's an idea. And I'd stick it in my purse and go home with napkins with the name of the bar. Never mind. Okay. So Heidi, talk to us about your poetry. I don't have your book. So what style? Do you write free form? Do you write in structures? What do you do?
Contemporary, so it's free form,
Okay.
all different styles. One of my books has poetry with my photography in it, so it's a blend. Sometimes it's a creative representation in different ways. And then I also just create poetry live. So I was a speaker at an event a while ago, and I just did a collective poem with everyone where they gave me some
Mm.
thoughts and then I created it. So I love doing collective poems on the spot as well.
Do you have a short poem you could read for us right now? Anything you'd like to share? I bet she does. I bet she does. Okay, yeah, okay.
I hadn't thought of that, but I'll just pull one out of this book. This is the shortest one in the book, so I'll do
That's
that.
fine. Go ahead. I'm going to put you on speaker view. I'm
Um,
interested in watching everybody's reactions, but I'm going to put you on solo. Go ahead, Heidi.
This morning, in the warm mist of summer, I dipped my toes into the water, circling the ripples from my body, waves mapping my blood, holding me here while I keep drifting to you.
I
Heidi,
think you got us.
That was beautiful.
You
I
got
just
us.
need you to come read me a bedtime story every night.
Heidi, it was the reading as
Yeah.
well as the words. That was the beauty of that. It was both. Yes. We were all quiet because I could tell we were all going, right, ladies?
Yes.
Yes.
Hypnotic voice. Just
Thank
a
you.
really
That was beautiful. That
Beautiful.
was absolutely beautiful. I'm going to read you all. I think we've covered that. We can end on time. We got about 8 more minutes, and that's probably plenty of time. We've covered the core of everybody's creativity statements, and we've done your openings and we've done your quotes. I would like to read you a quote. I think this will resonate with all of you. I've probably used the word resonate 25 times today. I apologize for that. If anybody remembers Talking Heads, the band, and the frontman was David Byrne, he's still around. David Byrne was interviewed by somebody named Stephen Johnson on a podcast called How Ideas Happen. I happened to come across it a couple years ago, and I wrote this down in my notes. And I read this every week, and I'm dedicating this to the three of you because I think you'll understand. He writes, "Sometimes I have just the title of a song that comes to me, and I write it down, and I go, expand on that. I think there's something there. And I also have in my computer here a whole lot of musical ideas that maybe have a melody, a nonsense word melody, awaiting words. But usually I need something to start with. Hard to start from nothing. I'll accumulate these very little beginnings. And when I come back, I've got something to build on." And then it continues, "Our minds fizz with fragments of ideas, puzzles to ponder, clues on how to fix a problem. Most of us undervalue that chatter, but writers and artists systematically capture the little beginnings." What do you think? Yes? I
Yes.
thought that was a beautiful quote. And then I have a couple of quotes for you from some movies and books here. Here's one. Lucy Maud Montgomery wrote Anne of Green Gables in 1908. She's a Canadian author. Heidi, you probably heard of her. Anne of Green Gables, very famous. And chapter 19 is a work of art. Just the title of the chapter is A Concert, a Catastrophe, and a Confession. Is that beautiful or what? But here is what she wrote in this, and I find these and I collect them. "Sometimes something just flashes into your mind, so exciting, and you must out with it. If you stop to think it over, you spoil it all." What do you think? Yes? It's just that's that go for Karen. How does that feel for you?
Yes, a little spark.
Yes, a little spark. Yeah, that's why I used to call us the Creativity Spark Show. Here's one from Rapunzel, voiced by Mandy Moore. This was the 2010 3D computer animated musical adventure fantasy comedy film. I think they took every genre in existence and they put dashes, and I've never seen one described like that. It was from 2010, and the character says, "Venture outside your comfort zone. The rewards are worth it." Isn't that true? You all didn't grow up saying, "This is what I'm going to do with my life." We didn't have a manual. Maybe people told us what they thought we should do, but we figured it out. We created this. That's why when I met you at the summit, I think I said to everybody when I was introduced, creativity, it's how you talk, how you think, how you walk, how you dress, how you answer the phone, if you still answer phones. Everything you do, you're creating. We didn't come with a specific manual. They do it in the movies, but we don't do it because we're real people. That's why we're creative people. Here's another quote, and you'll love this one, the Rolling Stones, 1969. "You can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you'll get what you need." There you go. And one more, and I dedicate this to the three of you, and then I have a poem of mine I'm going to read. Glinda the Good Witch of the North, originally the real Wizard of Oz, 1939 fantasy film. She was played by Billy Burke. Billy with an I-E. And the power is, here we go. "You had the power all along, my dear." Isn't that true? It was there. It was just there. Okay. I'm looking at the clock. We're good. We're good on time. So here is a poem I wrote. This is an acrostic. Heidi, I love acrostics. I love nonettes, which is a disappearing 9. I use a lot of formats, and I find the formats, I make up my own format sometimes. They just give me a little bit of structure to work within. And this was an acrostic. The prompt, this was July 24th, 2024. I've kept all my poems. And the prompt was night shift. NIGHTSHIFT. And people wrote about having a job and being at night. And I wrote an acrostic. And I'm not going to show it to you on screen, but I'm going to lean in every time I hit one of those letters. So it's NIGHTSHIFT. Here we go. Never quite really at rest. It's the life of a creative. Going, gripping, gyrating, growling, groaning, growing. Highs and lows, flowing on a mental Mobius strip. The days are the nights are the days again, shifting off and on, into and out of gear, hoping for unique brilliance even once. It's a calling, command, curse, roller coaster, finding eureka, euphoria amid frustration, fears. Thus is the life of the creative. And I dedicate that to all of you. Okay? That's one of us. Here we go. Let's rock it out.
The creativity show.
Come on, dance.
Alive hour. Let
Thank
it
you for
flow.
sticking around. Oh, Heidi,
Unscripted
sit leg
words
and
in a